Hello and welcome back to another Ash the 2 video. Today, we're currently in the middle of a dry spot for football currently, right in between the end of the AFC Championship and the beginning of the Super Bowl. Uh, but there is some exciting stuff happening. The Pro Bowl, which is happening, but more excitingly, the NFL honors are about to be announced. For those of you who don't know, NFL honors are like MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, all that great stuff. And the finalists have actually been announced, so I thought I'd weigh in and give you my picks for who I think's gonna win these awards. So first up, we have MVP. Their 5 finalists have been announced, and it's either gonna be QB Josh Allen, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Drake May, running back Christian McCaffrey, or quarterback Matthew Stafford. Josh Allen was the person who won MVP last year. Honestly, I don't think he gets it again. And Christian McCaffrey you can almost immediately eliminate because although it's not technically a quarterback only award, the MVP at this point has basically become a QB only MVP. Like, it's been forever since there was a non-QB as MVP. And also Trevor Lawrence. He's had a good career. He's had a good, not career, but like season this year. And it's pretty good for him that he got picked as one of the finalists for MVP, but I honestly don't think he really has a realistic chance. And this is really a 2-horse race between Drake May and Matthew Stafford. And honestly, I think that Drake May should win it. Like, say what you will about his weak schedule. Well, just because you're playing a bad team doesn't mean that the defense you're playing against is bad. Like, look at the Browns. Very bad team. Good defense with Myles Garrett and all. So that doesn't mean that you're going to have a cakewalk getting like 5 touchdowns as a quarterback, if you get my meaning here. But honestly, I think that the award is going to be eventually given to Stafford because of just he has some better numbers in some places, and he's not being like harassed with the accusations of having a weak schedule like May is. So honestly, I think that Stafford wins MVP this year, although it really should be Drake May. And then next up we have Offensive Player of the Year. The 5 finalists are QB quarterback Drake May. He was also an MVP finalist. Running back Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver Puka Nacua. Running back Bijan Robinson. And wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. Initially, just like how we could eliminate Christian McCaffrey from MVP talks, I think we could also eliminate Drake May. I don't think that they're going to give the Offensive Player of the Year to a quarterback, just like how they don't give the MVP to a non-quarterback, because the Offensive Player of the Year is like, in this day and age, it's the best non-quarterback, so it's, since the quarterbacks get MVP, they've kind of decided that quarterbacks shouldn't get Offensive Player of the Year. Christian McCaffrey is an interesting choice. Like, he could win this, but I just don't see it. He hasn't had the great year that some of the rest of these players have. He's had a good year, but like, his team got pretty injured, so like they came in third in their own division. I mean, like, it usually isn't taken into count in like offensive player of the year, but I just don't think that Christian McCaffrey has had a good enough year to compete with the rest of these people. Bijan Robinson, again, like, just like Christian McCaffrey, although the 49ers made the playoffs, but the Falcons didn't make the playoffs. So, like, although Bijan Robinson and Christian McCaffrey, they're both great players, I don't think that they've had good enough seasons this year to compete with the two people who everyone's talking about, Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's honestly who it's down to for me. And of those two, I think that JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, will get Offensive Player of the Year. He has more yards than Puka, and his team is also in the Super Bowl, although again, regular season award, but like, his team has had a better year overall. Not that the Rams haven't had a good year, but the Seahawks have just had a great year. Next up, we have Defensive Player of the Year. The 5 finalists for these are Will Anderson Jr., Nick Bonito, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is very interesting. Like, I think he might have had a chance at this if he hadn't gotten injured, like, halfway through the season. And, like, really, there's no need to spend too much time on the Defensive Player of the Year. I think this is obviously going to the man who broke the single-season sack record. It's, of course, going to Myles Garrett. He's just on a different level from the rest of these players. So, Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett. Next up, we have Comeback Player of the Year. This is down to Stefon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott. Award given to a player that's faced a lot of adversity, like injury, and usually just injury, honestly. I could see this going to any of these players. Trevor Lawrence is really interesting because I don't think he's going through much injury. So I really don't see it going to him. Christian McCaffrey, he's gone through a lot of injury in his career, and he's basically had to carry the entire 49ers team, most of this year being like basically the only like big star player on the 49ers that hasn't gotten injured this entire year. So I could see it going to him. Dak Prescott, he suffered a really bad injury at the end of 2024. So honestly, I'm really leaning towards Christian McCaffrey right now. But I could see it, like I said, going to any one of these people. I think in the end it has to go to Christian McCaffrey. He's just like been through so much injury in his career, and he's still here, and he had to go through his entire team getting injured, and they still somehow made the playoffs. That's mostly due to him. So Christian McCaffrey gets Comeback Player of the Year. Next up, we have the Rookie Awards. First up, Offensive Rookie of the Year. We have Jackson Dart, Emeka Egbua, I'm sorry, I've never heard of that player before. Maybe I don't follow the Buccaneers enough. Travion Henderson, Tyler Shuck, and Teriyaki McMillan. Uh, I don't think that this will really be going to Dart, honestly, because he's not been the starter the entire year. He had to sit on the bench behind Wilson for some of the season, so I don't really think that he can get it. Uh, Shuck, too, I believe, wasn't the starter for a lot of the season, although he's been good when he's played, so I could see there being an argument there. Uh, Travion Henderson, I feel kind of indifferent about. Don't I don't know much about him, but his team is in the Super Bowl. He's on the Patriots. Uh, so he must be doing his part, I would assume. Uh, Honestly, I think that this really goes to Shuck. Tyler Shuck, although he did, I believe, miss some of the season as like either being a backup or due to injury, I believe, but I think that he's just had a good enough starting season. Like the Saints won a whole bunch of games that they were never supposed to win. They finished 6-11, and like how they started the season, that wouldn't seem very possible, but they did pretty good. So I think that Shuck gets that. He's also probably going to be really good the next few seasons. And if the Saints can pull their act together, they can probably compete in a weak NFC South division. Next up, we have Defensive Rookie of the Year. We have our finalists are Abdul Carter, Nick Aminori, James Pierce Jr., Carson Schwarzenegger, Xavier Watts. And I think that this really has to go to Nick Emmanuelori on the Seahawks. I think that he's had a good enough season to be able to win this, and he's been a part of really making the Seahawks defense run, and I think that he's going to be able to take it for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Next up we have the coach awards. First up, Coach of the Year. Our finalists are Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike Vrabel. Initially, I think we could eliminate Kyle Shanahan, although he has been able to like lead the 49ers to playoffs despite all these injuries. Coach of the Year usually goes to the new flashy guy, not somebody who's been there for how many seasons Kyle Shanahan has been with the 49ers, which is a lot. All of the rest of these fit the mold, except for maybe fit that mold of new and shiny, except for maybe Mike McDonald because it's his second season, but he's still really new relative to Kyle Shanahan, who's a really veteran head coach at his team. I think Mike McDonald too, because he's not really a new coach. This is his second year. I don't think that he's gonna get it. And also, I don't think that he's made as big of an impact as any of the rest of these coaches. Like, look at Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel. They all took a team that was was one of the worst teams in the league and led them to the playoffs this year. Mike Macdonald, although his team did miss the playoffs last year, they barely missed the playoffs. They were a mediocre team last year. So, honestly, I think that this has to go to either Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, or Mike Vrabel. Of those, I really think that Mike Vrabel has done the most with the least. Honestly, he's turned the team from, I believe, 4-13 to 14-3. Really made a big impact in New England. Now they're going to the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel takes that. Assistant Coach of the Year, Defensive Coordinator Vic Fangio, Defensive Coordinator Brian Flores, Defensive Coordinator Vance Joseph, Offensive Coordinator Clint Kubiak, Offensive Coordinator Josh McDaniels. Of these 5 people, I think that I have to go with Clint. He's gonna be the head coach of the Raiders next year, so he's really made an impact. He really helped JSN take the next steps from good to great, and helped Sam Darnold really find his footing in Seattle. So because of that, I think that Clint Kubiak gets it. And that's pretty much all from me. If you like my videos and want to hear more from me, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next Astro 2 video.